All right, so for this lesson, we're going to be talking about the different states of matter. So we're just going to go over briefly what it is that makes up a solid, a liquid, and a gas. And we're going to focus on those three, but we'll also be learning a little bit about plasma, just not too much. All right, so first of all, these are the things we're going to be learning, right? It's just the physical states of matter, the four states. But again, we're just going to focus on a solid, liquid, and gas for the most part. Review the characteristics of each state or phase of matter, and then review matter's ability to change states of phases. And we're going to do another, go into more detail in a little bit in the next lesson on how it changes from one state to the other, depending on environmental conditions, right? So just think about like the colder it gets, the more solid things get, right? They start to freeze. And so we'll talk about that in this lesson and a little bit in the next one. So, first of all, take this time right here to just put down in your words, what do you think is the difference between a solid, a liquid, and a gas? What differentiates one from the other? So, take this time right now to just quickly jot down what you think the difference is between, again, a solid, a liquid, and a gas. All right, so now let's talk about matter. So, everything in this whole universe is matter except for a few things like energy. Energy, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but like sunlight is energy, but that's not really matter. And we'll talk about that why right now, because as you see right here, matter is defined by objects that take up space and they have mass, right? These are called matter. And so pretty much everything that takes up space, even like the air around us, that takes up space, right? Even though you can't see it, it's there. Think about blowing up a balloon, right? When you put like you exhale the gases that you're breathing out into that balloon, it starts to fill up, right? And it has a mass. So if you weigh the balloon before and you weigh the balloon after you blow it up, you'll see that it's actually heavier when you blow it up because that gas actually weighs something, right? So everything is matter pretty much, except energy. And so matter is everything around you, including you, right? It can be large or small. This planet is matter, right? The stars, the sun, all of those things are matter. But even atoms that are really small, even smaller than microscopic, sometimes we can't even see them with microscopes, are made of matter. And just remember that all of these particles are always in motion, right? So even an ice cube that looks like it's stuck in place, the little blocks that make up ice cubes, they're always vibrating, right? So it's always moving. This motion is based upon like how they're arranged. So we'll look at that more when we get into like atoms and bonding and things, how they're arranged, the energy they have, and the distance between particles, right? And we'll talk about that right now when we get to solids, liquids, and gases. So the states of matter. Matter can exist as a solid. So let's think of water. That's the most common example we see every day. So we think of water as a solid. We think of like an ice cube, right? And then when it's liquid, we just think of liquid water that we drink every day. Gas, that's like when you boil the water and steam starts to come out. That steam that's coming out of the boiling water, that is water in its gas phase, right? And then plasma, we I guess if you have like a plasma TV or you've ever seen plasma TVs, these actually have plasma in there, and they're just like it's energized particles, and we'll see that in a little bit. But again, we're not going to focus too much on plasma. Each of the different states of or phases of matter have different physical properties when environmental conditions around it changes, right? So this allows matter to move from one phase to another. Again, think of water, right? Water is a great example of matter's ability to demonstrate phase changes when you add energy. So think about energy as heat. Every time you add heat to an ice cube, it's actually going to start to melt, right? And so this is what they mean right here is the more energy you add, it starts to change. Right? So when the temperature goes up, water molecules exhibit an increase in movement, and eventually they move so fast, and that's when you see when you're boiling water and it starts kind of like bubbling. If water is given enough heat, energy, it escapes the liquid phase and becomes a gas, right? And that's that steam I was talking about. And that hurts, right? If you burn yourself with that steam, that is very painful because all that energy coming out.